We're live here in the city of Leeds, West Yorkshire. Welcome to the Tokunbo Fernandez show in collaboration with Exhibit 54, promoting the true life and success stories of African and Caribbean achievers around the world. And we have some amazing role models in our midst this evening, husband and wife, Mr. CJ Obasi, who's a film director, screen editor, doing amazing things over the last few years as well, and his wife, Oke, as well, also a film producer. Welcome to the Tokunbo Fernandez show in collaboration with Exhibit 54. And it's amazing to have you here in West Yorkshire, representing Nigeria and also Africa. But for the benefit of all our listeners around the world today, here in West Yorkshire, can you just both tell us a bit about yourself, your background, and your most memorable achievements in the African film industry in recent years?
I was born and raised in a small town over in the southeastern part of Nigeria, but my parents are from Niger State, also in the southeastern part of Nigeria. I grew up really in an academic setting, but an academic setting that also had a sort of love for the arts, film, books, literature, just the arts in general. And I fell in love with stories really at a very young age, and I really realized very early on that I wanted to make films. But in my world, or the world that I grew up in, there were no filmmakers really around me, so it was really hard to try to navigate that dream, I guess, as a young chap. But I figured it out somehow, much in my adulthood, and I guess when you're meant to do something, destiny finds a way.
I mean, you attended government secondary school in Owerri,
Yes.
State, Nigeria.
Yeah.
Went on to study computer studies at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka.
Yes.
In 2012, you set up a Fairy Film Initiative with your beautiful wife here, Oke. I mean, how does it feel to collaborate with your husband in an initiative which is now creating legacies today?
Yes, very fulfilling, to say the least. We started in a very, very humble way. Our first film together was a zero budget zombie thriller, and it went on to be critically acclaimed and relevant to today. Considering how we started and where we are today and the hope of tomorrow, I would say we're very grateful and fortunate and excited about what lies ahead, and also very happy that we got to this point where we're breaking records and opening doors for other filmmakers.
I'm very, very fascinated when I meet people who create initiatives, events, and products with a zero budget. But then again, it just goes on to become a Nigerian Film of the Year award in the African Awards Initiative. What does it say about yourself and your wife to create an initiative from scratch on a zero budget? It has to say something about both of you.
I think it has to do with, first of all, the passion for what we do. And there's I wouldn't go as far as saying that we're the most hardworking people, but we are really very hardworking people. And I think when there's hard work and there's passion and there's a sincerity with what you're trying to achieve, because beyond us, what we are trying to do is really put a new attention on African filmmaking. That's really the higher ideal, beyond just making films. There's a higher ideal, a sort of mission, almost like an agenda that we have as far as how African film or African cinema is represented on a global scale. And this, for us, has become the anchor through which we make or create anything.
Now, it took some time you're also here to talk about Mami Wata, which has won so many awards as well, and it's been very, very impressive. And it took some time for you to come up with, I think also team to actually come up with this narrative and promote it to the world. What was the reason behind Mami Wata? What inspired it? And for the benefit of non-African listeners around the world, what does it represent?
Mami Wata is a mermaid deity that originates from West Africa. It's not just Nigerian. We do recognize Mami Wata in Nigeria, but beyond Nigeria, in different parts of West Africa, in the Francophone and in the Anglophone countries of West Africa, they also recognize Mami Wata. And beyond Africa, in the Caribbean, in the South Americas, they also recognize Mami Wata. So you begin to realize that this transcends mythology, this transcends folklore. It's a religion, it's a belief system, it's a tradition in many ways. And so for me, making a film about Mami Wata was an opportunity to connect Africans, an opportunity to connect the diaspora, and also find our own humanity in a way, because in many ways there's so many questions about Africanness and identity. Many of us are still trying to find ourselves in 2023. We're trying to find who we are as Africans. And so making a Mami Wata film, just by the nature of this particular tale, this particular idea, this particular belief system that connects each and every one of us, was a way to find a visual language that could present us in a new light or in a new perception to the rest of the world, while also connecting us to ourselves, to our tradition, to our spirituality. So yeah, this was really a higher, I would say. I mean, at first I didn't realize how important it was to make the film, but through the development, like you said, from 2016, through the years of working on the script and developing it, the weight of it became more and more clear to me.
What did you learn about yourself in that process? And how has it changed your outlook in life?
So it has changed everything, really. I mean, making this film, I always say, was a rebirth for me in so many ways. Just in terms of how I want to make films, that has completely changed. The kind of films I want to make has completely changed. The kind of images that I want to put out to the world has changed. And just a new respect for storytelling, a newfound reverence for spirituality and how I want to convey that through the visual medium of cinema. I think I came into that fully while making this film. And also maturity, a lot of maturity, spiritual maturity, emotional maturity, as an artist, as a writer. I can go on and on. There's just so much that making this film has brought to my life as a filmmaker.
I mean, okay, speaking to all our listeners around the world today, why is it important for Africans to watch Mami Wata?
Mami Wata is a celebration, first and foremost, a celebration of Africa, the African woman who's been in the background for so long now, the Africans who are represented, I would say poorly in cinema globally, and a new energy, a new charge, a new sense of pride about being African, about being black, about how beautiful we are, how resourceful and resilient we are. A reminder of how glorious a people we are. We seem to have forgotten. So Mami Wata for me represents the celebration, the reminder, the coming together of us, and the beginning of a new generation of bold narratives, of African stories, and just freedom.
Freedom, liberation, personal identity.
Yes.
Speaking to all our listeners around the world today as well, what message do you have for Africans around the world today?
We may not have had a choice in our past, but we definitely do have a choice, a purpose, and power over our future. We only just have to stand up.
also finally, sir, what initiatives have you got lined up in the next 6 months? Do you think our audiences around the world should know about?
More stories. I think we've barely scratched the surface, and nothing. I think as a filmmaker, maybe I'm biased, but as a filmmaker, I feel like nothing empowers the people, nothing inspires the people more than images, more than film. Film has the ability to go into a person's heart, into a person's soul, into a person's, the deepest parts of your mind, and bring alive parts of you that you never knew existed, just from images. And I think this is the responsibility that we have as African storytellers to inspire this generation and also the generations to come.
And how important would you say it is for us today to promote our narratives with limited resources?
Oh, it's everything. I mean, we can't wait for that big money to come. You know, if we keep waiting for the big money, we might wait forever. So we have to get out there and create. There's really nothing stopping us but us.
Beautiful speaking to both of you today. I'm
Thank
so
you.
proud of you. Keep shining always.
Thank you so much.